the leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Alright folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Wow. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go. From a studio deep in the heart of Texas.
You're not going to believe the garbage that fell out of his mouth.
The voice of the working man.
This clown had the audacity to say that.
It's the Gavin Mitchell Show.
It's not a race issue. It's a First Amendment issue, and we all just need to understand it.
And now, here's your host, Gavin Mitchell.
It is Friday, and we are hitting the door running. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Gavin Mitchell Show. I am Gavin Mitchell. A lot going on as we run into the weekend. We had the GOP debate last night, hopefully the last GOP debate last night. Want to talk about that. Want to talk about where we're at rolling into what they're calling the second Super Tuesday. More bad news for Hillary Clinton. We're going to unpack that. Want to talk a little bit about these territories, because I am a firm believer that if it wasn't for Puerto Rico and the clean sweep of Puerto Rico for Marco Rubio, he would be out of the game right now. But they seem to think that they don't have to follow the laws. We're going to talk about that. A little bit about what Hollywood has to say about the election. And Johnny Manziel is back in the news, and it is not favorable to him. But let's talk about the debate last night, because I flipped on the TV expecting, hoping for, I guess is a better word, like the rest of America, a backstreet brawl. I wanted to see some fireworks, and I'm talking tongue-in-cheek right now. I really don't mean that. But a presidential debate broke out, so much so that Donald Trump even said, I'm surprised at how civil we're being. And it was fascinating to me just how civil they were. Marco Rubio didn't go after the attacks. They were substantive discussions. They were on policy, and exactly what you thought would happen happened from such a debate. This is Ted Cruz's wheelhouse. He looks like $1 million every time we have a debate. And he did. Marco Rubio didn't look bad. He finished a strong second, in my opinion. And then bringing up the rear were Kasich and Donald Trump. The reason for me Kasich brings up the rear is because he's John Kasich. He's a liberal dressed in GOP attire. He's one of them. He's one of what we are very upset about. So that's why he brings up the rear. The reason Donald Trump brings up the rear is because he just can't get into any issue beyond the surface. Maybe it's by design. Maybe he doesn't know and he plans on bringing intelligent people to surround him. But we just can't get a deep answer from Donald Trump ever. And it doesn't seem to matter what it is. In fact, even the last debate, we had him talking about waterboarding people and going beyond. And America loves the attitude. America loves the fact that he is standing out on the front porch, waving the flag and shooting the finger to the rest of the world. They love it. But at some point, you have to give us something. You can't just be all pom-poms and Friday night cheers. You got to give us something to prove to us that you're a president. Now, I'll give Donald Trump some credit. Here in the last week, he has worked really hard to tone down this vicious rhetoric that's coming out and behave more like a presidential candidate. And he's doing well at it, and people are taking notice. People are definitely noticing that that's going on. And so hats off to him for that. What I need to see at this point for me to feel fully comfortable saying that's my guy if he ends up winning the nomination. And please don't mistake what I'm saying, because even if I can't say fully that's my guy, I'm definitely not voting for Hillary Clinton, and I'm definitely not voting for Bernie Sanders. So I will cast my vote for the Republican nominee. But what I'm saying is for me to be really comfortable with that, for me to go in there feeling good about life, I'd like to see some depth to Donald Trump's positions and his answers. And the kickback to what I'm saying is people are like, well, go to his website. He's got a lot of white papers out there. He's got some good stuff out there. Well, yes, but we have zero evidence that Donald Trump wrote that. And I want to be clear. I have zero problem running a guy out there who knows what he doesn't know and surrounds himself with people that are smart and are experts in that area. I have zero problem with that. In fact, I encourage it. I think anybody that surrounds themselves with yes men are fools. You want people who will push back on you. You want people who will disagree with you. You want people who know what you don't know. It makes the team stronger. And so I'm all for that, but Donald Trump's got to give me something. He built this great empire. And there are people out there who have built empires by recruiting the right people. That's what they did well. They recruited the right people. And I'm beginning to wonder if Donald Trump's that guy, because even on business matters, if you're a business guy and he claims he went to Wharton, I don't know if he graduated, but Wharton is one of the top business schools in the land. I mean, there is some talent that comes out of Wharton and the University of Pennsylvania. And so if he went there for his undergrad, you don't have to have advanced degrees to be successful. You don't have to have a college degree to be successful. But at least he would understand Economics 101. And last night in the debate, this is really the only qualm I have about the whole debate last night. This is it. We were talking about tariffs and taxes, and Ted Cruz said, look, if you don't like the trade deal and you start taxing these finished goods in the store by 45%, like Donald Trump claimed, it's the consumer that pays that tax. Yes and no, Ted Cruz. Yes and no. But Donald Trump said, no. What happens is they won't buy it. They'll buy something else. Here's the problem I have with this, because this is Economics 101. This is what I expect a president to understand when it comes to economics. I don't expect him to understand what raising the open window rate, 25 bips will do to the GOP in trade with Western countries and their inflation rate, right? I don't expect him to be able to do that if he's not an economist. I don't expect him to derive the Black-Scholes option pricing model from jump. I don't expect him to do that. I don't expect him to know what Brownian motions are and how to get the integral thereof using Ito's calculus. I don't expect any of that from a president, but I do expect them to understand Economics 101. And that's where we're at with this. This is Economics 101, because the research and the science and the simple math show that if you tax an item, if a government taxes an item, and the way we know this is with the push of taxing tobacco. Okay, a long time ago, I say a long time ago, it feels like a long time ago, there was this push to get people to stop smoking. But the cigarette and the tobacco companies were so strong and their lobbyists were so strong, they couldn't get anything done. And so what did the government do? They rounded up enough votes and Congress began taxing tobacco at an outrageous price, thinking that if we just raise these taxes, people will stop buying that and they'll go to alternatives, bubblegum, whatever. They won't be able to afford it. Well, there's some flaws in that logic. Naturally, there's an addictive characteristic to tobacco and nicotine, right? There are habitual acts when it comes to using tobacco. So that's one reason why it was a bad idea. Here's the other. They didn't understand the basic economics that if you tax an item, say $1, the economics says that the consumer will pay 50 cents of that dollar, and the producer, the seller, will pay 50 cents of that dollar. with the retailer paying 50 cents of that dollar and the consumer paying 50 cents of that dollar, nowhere in there does the producer pay. And I may have misspoke just a second ago, but it's the retailer and it's the consumer that pays that tax. It's not the producer. It's not the distributor. Those aren't the people that end up paying that tax. That's economics 101. I expect presidential candidates to understand that. And maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. But I expect, and I certainly expect Donald Trump to understand that because he has made his living in, quote, business. I'm a businessman. I expect Ted Cruz to know that because he's smart. He went to the Ivy League. Yes, he studied, what was it, criminology or policy or whatever he studied. Who cares? He ended up going to law school. He's a lawyer. But I still expect him to understand economics 101. And so I was really disappointed. But other than that, folks, we got us a stellar debate last night. I mean, we had very few. In fact, I would even go as any, because I can't recall any right now, personal attacks. Any attacks were policy-based, and those were few and far between. Each candidate stood up and said, this is what I'm about. This is where I stand. This might be how we're different. In fact, I even heard Marco Rubio at one point saying, look, this is the effect of Mr. Trump's policy. And he may not even intend for it to be the effect, but here's why it's the effect. That is perfect debate etiquette that pulls to the intellectual desires of the watching audience who want to be challenged intellectually by their presidential nominee. Right? I want to feel that my president is smarter than me. I want to feel like when complex situations arise, this guy has the intellectual capacity to think it through. That's what I want to see from these guys. And we got a taste of it last night. We got a taste of four really smart men. The problem is, when you rank them 1 through 4, the front runner's at the bottom, just on the surface. He didn't appear intelligent at all. And that's troublesome to me. I love his attitude. I love his patriotism. I love his fire. I love his vigor. I love all of that. I'm just like the next American. I love the fact that somebody is finally waving the flag and shooting the finger to the rest of the world. That American exceptionalism is back. And man, I'm a huge fan of that. But at some point, we got to tone down that emotion and make a sound decision. I'm not saying Donald Trump was a bad decision. I'm saying based on that debate last night, we've got some stronger candidates than we may have thought because we finally got us an intellectual debate. And I never thought I'd say this in my life, but hats off Jake Tapper. It really wasn't Jake Tapper's fault. These 4 guys got together and decided enough was enough. That's what happened. But Jake Tapper comes out looking like $1 million. So hats off to him. All right, I got to take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to talk a little bit about Second Super Tuesday. We got a few endorsements coming. And Hillary Clinton is one step closer to indictment. Every day it seems to be something that gets her a little closer. One of these days I'm going to grab this microphone and say the indictment has come down. But all of that on the other side, don't go anywhere.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repair repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessory store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Let Twisted Roads Trading Post be the place to go. Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Sewing, embroidery, and T-shirt printing services are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit TwistedRoadsTradingPost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Do you believe in conservative politics, common sense issues, and the U.S. Constitution? So does Matt Locke. Who is Matt Locke? Well, Matt's just a guy that believes, like many of you, that our country is headed in the wrong direction. If you feel the same, then go to Matt's new website, themattlockshow.com. Matt is a friend of the Gavin Mitchell Show, and he's a conservative podcaster and talk show host who will shoot you straight and provide information that is important to the conservative listener. You'll hear political commentary, news, and he'll discuss the current issues that will affect you during this election season. Listen to Matt's daily podcast anytime on his website at themattlockshow.com, spelled MATTLOCKE, or find his show on Spreaker.com and TuneIn.com. He's also syndicated on ICRN, the internet's new conservative radio network. Join Matt and his guest on the Matt Locke Show daily at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on conservativeradionetwork.com, or listen to any of his 400 archive shows at any time on themattlockshow.com. The Matt Locke Show, all things conservative politics.
Hey, everybody, it's Chris Salcedo from the Blaze Radio Network. You are listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show.
So we had a number of endorsements this past week. We've talked a little bit about a few of them. We talked about Carly Fiorina and Mark Levin for Ted Cruz, and Fiorina, whatever, right? Non-factor. That's why she got out of the race. If she was a factor, she would have scored better, but she didn't. She didn't score well, and so she's out. And so the fact that she's endorsing Cruz, whatever, right? But Levin's a serious endorsement, folks. Don't kid yourself. That is legit. That is probably the heaviest hitting endorsement. I'm going to argue that's an even bigger endorsement than Jeff Sessions. The question is, did Levin come out too late? Because if he's endorsing Cruz, Cruz is his guy. That's how it is. But did he come out too late? Is this game over? I don't know. This is what I do know. I do know that after this coming Tuesday, March 15th, we're going to know if this thing's over. And it very well might be, ladies and gentlemen. While Trump only has a 99 delegate lead, what we are rolling into are some more moderate states, and what we're rolling into are some winner-take-all states. The rules start to change in the game, and they favor Trump. So it's getting very interesting. And that's why I've said from the beginning that at this point, if Marco Rubio believes what he says, that one of the worst things that could happen for this country, equally as bad as Hillary Clinton getting elected, is Donald Trump being elected. If he believes those words that are coming out of his mouth, then he has to get out of the game before Tuesday. He doesn't have a choice if he believes that. Because if he stays in, he is continuing to uphold and enable this fractured opposition for Donald Trump. And that is good for Donald Trump. That is bad for everybody else. To use Ted Cruz's words, Trump bad. So that's what it does. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Marco Rubio is not going to win the nomination. John Kasich is not going to win the nomination. And if they have some backwards skewed logic that by staying in, they're going to continue to pull delegates from Trump, they're wrong, because that's not where they're pulling delegates from. They're pulling delegates from Cruz, and Cruz is the only one with an opportunity to beat Donald Trump. And so if that's their logic, it's backwards. Now, maybe Marco has this inflated sense of self-worth. He did get the endorsement from the mayor of Miami, and I don't know. I don't know what Marco Rubio's thinking, because from this point forward, it doesn't look like he's going to win Florida, and that just means bad things across the board. But Trump picked up an endorsement, and it's one that wasn't expected, from Dr. Ben Carson. And we all remember Trump coming out and saying, oh, well, he stabbed his friend in the stomach and it happened to hit the belt buckle. And then he went into the bathroom, and, after 2 hours in the bathroom, he's a completely changed man, and so on and so forth. He's pathological, is what Trump said. He's pathological. And it's like pedophilia. Pedophiles can't be cured. Neither can these pathological people. And that was one of the more outrageous things that fell out of Donald Trump's mouth. And there's no way Carson, all the way through, Carson has said, you got to be careful who your president is. And he all but said it. He all but said, you got to have somebody better than this. But here's why I think Carson jumped on the Trump train. I think Carson is still a little chapped about the whole deal in Iowa with Ted Cruz. I think he knows, just like everybody else in the world with half a brain, that this is a two-man race. It's Cruz or it's Trump. And when you have to weigh those, I think Carson is still chapped about what went down in Iowa. Maybe somewhere in his ego, he feels like, had that not happened, he might be a contender here. I don't know. But it's obvious he's not a fan of Ted Cruz. And so he picks Trump. Another argument that could be made with this is that, maybe Carson really believes Trump's the guy and he's angling for a position. And that's something I've heard a lot of here lately, is that he's angling for a position, just like Chris Christie was angling for a position, because they both think he's going to win. Why not get on early and claim you were loyal and ride all along? So what is Carson's position? Well, just like Christie, there are words flying around that he might be angling for the VP spot. Well, it is a violation of the United States Constitution for the president and the vice president to be from the same state. So if Donald Trump is determined to be a Florida citizen at all, Carson lives in Florida, that's not going to work. The natural fit seems to be Surgeon General, right? He'd be a great Surgeon General. But what Trump said last night during the debate is they had an hour-long conversation over education, and he is the guy to reform education. He's got an answer, and it's brilliant. Who would have known, right? And so, without question, Carson's got a spot if he wants it. It depends on where. But what's most important here is that Carson's still chapped about Cruz pulling that number there. Now, what is in front of us as we move forward? We're out of scheduled debates, thank God. And we have some elections Saturday. It's a little weird on the GOP side. Washington, D.C. runs with 9 delegates available. Here's where it gets weird. Wyoming is partially tomorrow. The counties caucus tomorrow. The states do not caucus until the 16th of next month. And I'm sure you know this, but the counties have certain delegates allotted to each of them, and then a state has delegates allotted to each of them. And that's what's offered. And so the counties are going to caucus tomorrow. The state will caucus at the state convention on April 16th. That is Wyoming. Neither one of those seem to be very important. Tuesday, the second Super Tuesday, this is where the rubber hits the road because Ohio is in play this Tuesday, the 15th. And this is the whole reason John Kasich has hung around, is to win Ohio. And it looks like he's going to. But then what, John Kasich? What happens after you get these 66 delegates or a portion thereof? He's going to win, but he's not going to win in a landslide. It might be a 5 or 6 point win. It'll be a significant win. But then what? Right? And Florida is in play. Florida is the big prize this coming Tuesday with 99 delegates. Florida is a winner-take-all state. And so the question is, does Rubio have a chance? It doesn't look like it. Is Rubio going to hang around to get embarrassed? It's looking like it. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. Also on the table, North Carolina with 72 delegates, Missouri with 52, and Illinois with 69. Here are the cold, hard facts. If Donald Trump has not a good night, but a great night Tuesday, this thing is over. It's that simple. It's over. Now, that doesn't mean Ted Cruz is going to bow out. I don't even know at this point if it means the others are going to bow out. But it means this thing is over and we can start moving towards a conclusion of some sort. Because with the winner-take-all momentum and these moderate states coming, because you got to keep in mind, California is still out there. Cruz has zero chance of winning California. We've still got New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Those are all going to Trump, right? There's just a lot of moderate states out there that Cruz will not appeal to. The only hope he has is that these moderates are jumping on that anti-Trump train. That's the only hope he has. If Trump has a great night. Now, if you're of this persuasion, if you're of this belief that Trump is bad, and that's what a lot of people are out there saying, Trump is bad, then those two guys, Kasich and Rubio, need to get out. Now, what difference does it make? Because if they get out, it looks like Trump wins Ohio, and it looks like he wins Florida. That's very true. So how does it help Cruz? It helps Cruz because all of those delegates, all of those voters that those other two sucked up, there's a high probability they go to Ted Cruz because Ted Cruz is coming on strong now. He sounded like $1 million last night. He sounded really good in the previous debate. He's starting to make sound arguments. There's this argument that Trump has hit his ceiling, but most importantly in the polls, if it were one-on-one with Trump and Cruz, Cruz is winning by a lot, by more than 10 points. And so there's that out there that says he's got a shot, but these two have got to go, and they've got to go now. I guess they're thinking by holding on, they can keep Trump from getting some or all of these delegates, and then they can pledge them to Cruz if the delegates follow. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know. It makes no sense. When the numbers say if you get out, Cruz wins, and your objective is for Trump not to win, why are you still in the race? It makes zero sense to me. Apparently, it makes sense to these guys. Folks, on the other side of the break, more bad news for Hillary Clinton. I want to talk a little bit about Puerto Rico and their role in all of this and why I think it's time for them to stop getting delegates. I'm just going to call it like I see it. I don't understand why they get delegates if this is their stance. We're going to talk about that story. And then I want to get into some Johnny Manziel if we got time. Don't go anywhere.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Do you believe in conservative politics, common sense issues, and the U.S. Constitution? So does Matt Locke. Who is Matt Locke? Well, Matt's just a guy that believes, like many of you, that our country is headed in the wrong direction. If you feel the same, then go to Matt's new website, themattlockshow.com. Matt is a friend of the Gavin Mitchell Show, and he's a conservative podcaster and talk show host who will shoot you straight and provide information that is important to the conservative listener. You'll hear political commentary, news, and he'll discuss the current issues that will affect you during this election season. Listen to Matt's daily podcast anytime on his website at themattlockshow.com, spelled MATTLOCKE, or find his show on Spreaker.com and TuneIn.com. He's also syndicated on ICRN, the Internet's new conservative radio network. Join Matt and his guest on the Matt Locke Show daily at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on conservativeradionetwork.com, or listen to any of his 400 archive shows at any time on themattlockshow.com. The Matt Locke Show, all things conservative politics.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Hey everybody, Gavin Mitchell from The Gavin Mitchell Show here. Of course you can find our show every week on our flagship station, News and Information, 570 AM KLIF, but sometimes once a week just isn't enough. I would encourage you to go out to our website, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com, and there you'll find a plethora of information about the show, including archived episodes of our daily podcast. You'll find a blog written by me and other conservative writers, and entertaining videos that are available with the Gavin Mitchell Experience. I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The GM Show. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. And of course, we are on our flagship station for the internet, conservativeradionetwork.com, with the most talented conservative podcasters in the country. So be sure to tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. right here on News and Information 570 AM KLIF, or through the week at conservativeradionetwork.com or www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size. And this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity, lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Hello, this is Patrick Fernari, author of Commoner Sense, The Working Person's Guide to America, and you're listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Well, Hillary's in more trouble. My gosh, is she in trouble. But if you listen to her during her debate, no, I'm not answering that. That's nonsense. I'm not getting indicted. When Jorge Ramos asked, if you get indicted, will you drop out? Her exact response, quote, my goodness, that's not going to happen. I'm not even answering that question. Well, Ms. Clinton, it's happening. I'm telling you, more horrible news for her. Before we get there, I want to remind you, you can find us on the web, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com. Email me directly, Gavin@thegavinmitchellshow.com. We're on Twitter at The GM Show, Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn as well. Remember, folks, we need those followers on Spreaker so that we can get the daily show onto iHeartRadio. So please, I know I'm asking you to sign up, and I know I'm asking you to spend a little time there. 5 minutes, sign up, follow us. It would be greatly appreciated. Many of you have. We're right at halfway there, so please. And then this weekend, as every weekend, we are on News and Information 570 KLIF here in Dallas-Fort Worth. If you are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can stream that show on KLIF.com or on iHeartRadio. Just find 570 KLIF and stream it. We are on 8 p.m. Saturday night. This Saturday night, I have a special guest. Tom Meckler, the chairman of the Texas GOP, will join me. We're going to talk a little bit about Super Tuesday. We're going to talk about the state of the GOP, and then he is up for re-election at this year's Republican convention. Talk a little bit about that. So great interview there. Don't miss it. That's Saturday night, 8 o'clock. News and Information 570 KLIF. If you're not in the Dallas area, you can find it at klif.com and stream it there. So, Hillary Clinton tells Jorge Ramos, and by surrogate us, that that's just not going to happen regarding an indictment. Well, Ms. Clinton, it's getting worse, and it's getting worse by the second, because we remember that Clinton's IT specialist, Brian Pagliano is how you pronounce that, was granted immunity. And according to an inside source at the FBI, and they can't say who it is because, well, they're working under anonymity. They're not supposed to say anything. This guy is, quote, a devastating witness. He told the FBI who had access to the former secretary's system, as well as when they had access to that system, what devices were used. And what this does is it gives the FBI a roadmap to piece all of this together. Here is the direct quote from the source. Brian Pagliano is a devastating witness, and as the webmaster knows exactly who had access to Clinton's computer and devices at specific times. His importance to this case cannot be overemphasized. Folks, this might be the nail in the coffin, because here's what happened. There are some deleted emails. There are some emails that are so top secret that they will never be released to the public. There are 22 of those, and they're angling at those. But what they're going to do is they're going to cross-reference this information, and they're going to piece it all together. And according to the story on Fox News, it appears that even some of the pictures she took while she was out and about will help piece all this together, because it puts timestamps in and geoanalytics on that picture. So if she's in the Middle East, she couldn't possibly be here, but she's logging into her private server from Washington. How could that be? Right? And you see how they start to piece all of this together. Another quote, Miss Clinton sending them in the instance would show her intent much more than would receiving them. And when we say them, we're talking about the emails. So her sending these classified emails would lock up intent much more than her receiving them, is what they're saying. Hillary Clinton was at a minimum grossly negligent in her handling of national defense information, NDI, materials, merely by her insisting that she utilized a private server versus a government server. Remember, NDI, National Defense Information, does not have to be classified. According to the Congressional Research Service, NDI is broadly defined to include information that they have reason to know could be used to harm national security. What a wrinkle that is. Now, this whole argument, well, they're retroactively classifying things. And remember my argument. It's not classified because it has a stamp. It has a stamp because it's classified. That argument's now thrown out the door with that statement. National defense information doesn't have to be classified. If there's any reason that they think it could be used to harm national security, you can't put it on a private server, or you're, quote, at a minimum, grossly negligent. We've talked about this gross negligent clause in the Espionage Act. Here is the nail in the coffin, folks. It was emphasized, the article reads, to Fox News that Clinton's deliberate, quote, creation and, quote, control of the private server used for her official government business is the subject of intense scrutiny. Pagliano knows the key details as to how the private server was installed and maintained in her home. This guy is the gatekeeper to what she was doing. This guy knows all the ins and outs. He knows who had passwords, who didn't, who logged in when, who logged out there, where they were at, what devices were used, what went through it, what came out of it. This guy knows everything. And he's been granted immunity. And the evidence is just piling up. And now that they know this stuff, they know what was used and when, they can begin to piece the puzzle together. They had all the pieces, and they had the cover of the box of what the picture looks like. But now they can start putting it together, and the picture starts to become very clear as to what's going on here. And what's going on here is we have a Clinton that is above the law. We have a Clinton that doesn't have to answer to the FBI. We have a Clinton that's first lady, that's been a senator, that has been Secretary of State, and now, by God, has the right to sit in that Oval Office because she's earned it. And none of this affects her. This is water off a duck's back. This is nonsense. This is right-wing propaganda, according to them. That's what this is. No, Miss Clinton. What this is you committing espionage. This is serious. This is no joke. You are not above the law, Miss Clinton, and the FBI has come out and said it several times, that if the AG will not render an indictment, they will go public. They have worked too hard. They have been under too much scrutiny to let this just slide. So if she's not held to account through the legal process, they will air her dirty laundry in public, and she will be held to account in the political realm. And this whole thing is just fascinating because this is the exact opposite of what the Democratic establishment wants. The establishment doesn't want this. They want their heir apparent in office so they can continue their ways and their practices of shoving their way of life down our throat, moving towards a more socialistic empire, de-arming us so we'll submit. This is what they're after. And this bucks their whole plan because you can't run Bernie Sanders out there. He wasn't meant to win. He was just a placeholder for the podium next to her when she gave her speeches masked as a debate. The wheels are falling off for the left. They're absolutely falling off. And for her, knowing all of this, she knows the story. She knows what happened. And for her to say to Jorge Ramos, my goodness, that's not going to happen. I'm not even answering that question. The more proper response is, yeah, I'm really scared. I plead the fifth right now. That's how I'd answer it. On the other side, some shocking stories, and I want to talk a little bit about Johnny Manziel. Hang tight.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessory store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Let Twisted Roads Trading Post be the place to go. Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Sewing, embroidery, and t-shirt printing services are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit twistedroadstradingpost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Hey everybody, Gavin Mitchell from The Gavin Mitchell Show here. Of course you can find our show every week on our flagship station, News and Information, 570 AM KLIF, but sometimes once a week just isn't enough. I would encourage you to go out to our website, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com, and there you'll find a plethora of information about the show, including archived episodes of our daily podcast. You'll find a blog written by me and other conservative writers, and entertaining videos that are available with the Gavin Mitchell Experience. I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The GM Show. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. And of course, we are on our flagship station for the internet, conservativeradionetwork.com, with the most talented conservative podcasters in the country. So be sure to tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. right here on News and Information 570 AM KLIF, or through the week at conservativeradionetwork.com or www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Hey, everybody, it's Chris Salcedo from the Blaze Radio Network. You are listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Well, we all know that I'm a blue-collar guy like most of you out there. I work with my hands, and I'm not ashamed of it one bit. But sometimes when I see the garbage that comes out of Hollywood, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes you just shake your head in disbelief that these people actually exist, and there's this cult of them, for lack of a better word, just this gathering of idiots out in Hollywood, and sometimes it breaks your heart. And I want to get into one that does a little bit of everything, but I want to remind you folks that every weeknight at 5 p.m., Central Time, you can find us on conservativeradionetwork.com, and that is our flagship station. Ron and his guys have worked incredibly hard to get that going. It is Matt Locke's flagship station. It is Chris at New Media Patriots' flagship station, and there is a lot of talent on that network, and Ron is working incredibly hard. So please tune in. conservativeradionetwork.com is where you can find it. There's so much going on, and I just, please, if you get an opportunity, get out there and look at it, because you will be doing yourself a favor if conservative talk is something you're interested in. Just a number of patriots. Now, with that said, so there's this lady, Raven Simone. I think she was the youngest Cosby girl, if I remember correct. Raven Simone. Her name's hyphenated. I don't know if that means she's going by her first name or last name, or she just thought it'd be cool to hyphenate it. Who knows? But she came out, she's working on The View right now, and The View is a bunch of liberal women who are incredibly uninformed. They get up there every day, and they just talk like they're at the coffee shop, which is fine. I don't care. If you don't like it, don't tune in. This is America. They have a right to speak. On Thursday on this show, The View on ABC, Raven Simone blamed the Bible for allegations that Hillary Clinton is not trustworthy. Here is her quote. "I have a problem with everybody still saying that she's untrustworthy," she being Clinton. "I feel like there's this stigma since the beginning of the human race that a woman is untrustworthy. It starts in the Bible. And even some of the liberal co-hosts that she's up there with tried to talk her off that point, and she refused. She refused to come down. And we just spent a whole segment on why Hillary Clinton is dishonest. We just spent a whole segment on her lying to Jorge Ramos, saying, well, that's not going to happen. I'm just seeing put off that we seem to think her regard for the law, or her lack thereof, is something that's relevant to a presidential election. And her disdain for this, her decrying these accusations as if they're an attack from the right instead of a true legal investigation, is beyond me. But for this chick, Raven Simone, the baby Cosby, that's what she's going to be from this point forward, the Cosby girl, For her to come out and say, why can't we just get over it, just proves to me how detached some of these people are from reality. And for her to blame the Bible just proves the mentality of lack of accountability that runs through this group of people. And it's absolutely disgusting to me that people like that get a voice. I don't mind them talking, but what disturbs me is they're put on a platform for them to echo. And you know just as well as I do on the other side of the radio that there is a group that counts on other people to be informed. They're either busy or they're uneducated or whatever, and they have to find sources they trust to get their information. They don't have the time to dig it up, and that's okay. The problem is that some of these people from the left are hoodwinked to the point, are blind to the point, that they think the Cosby Girl is a reliable source. And it's the Bible's fault. So because Eve decided to take the fruit, after God told them, don't take the fruit. God told them both, don't take the fruit. But when she did from the tree of knowledge, she's claiming that spawned this I don't even know, this attitude, I guess is the word I'm looking for, that women are not trustworthy. That's not it at all. In fact, if she wants to play this game, I would argue that women are inherently the most trustworthy people in the world. When a baby is born, what's the only person they trust? It's the mother. There's that natural connection of trust and nurturing. And so I don't want to hear that women aren't trustworthy. This woman's not trustworthy because of what she did. And I'm tired of people turning it into political attacks being the reason she's not trustworthy, or her being a woman is the reason she's not trustworthy. All of that's garbage, and it shows your idiocracy just shining through. Enough about that. Let's talk about Johnny Manziel, another guy who doesn't get it. But I'm going to argue a little bit for Johnny Manziel. He was released by the Cleveland Browns either late last night or today. We knew it was coming late last night. I don't know when they actually released him. So he is out on the street looking for work. And this is what I'm going to argue, and it's the same argument I made with Greg Hardy. It is easy to hate Johnny Manziel right now. It is easy with everything going on to cast stones at him. And this is what I want to say. What we need from this guy is we need this guy to get his act together, and we need him to play football again, or we need for him to open a business and be successful, because we need him to make sure that light bulb goes off in his head so that he can turn around and save other people in a similar position. Because these kids are talented, they're handed a lot of money and fame, and they don't handle it well sometimes. But those that have been through it, who can come through on the other side and survive it, they can be mentors, they can be leaders to the next guy who's in the same position. And so it's real easy right now to hate Johnny Manziel because he did apparently beat up on his girlfriend a couple times. He did party too much. He did drink too much. He didn't seem to, quote, get it. But you have to remember from the jump, this kid, he was thrust into the spotlight. As a freshman, he wins the Heisman Trophy. He's 18, 19 years old at that point, and he wins the Heisman Trophy. He's the most famous college football player in the land. And then he gets drafted, and he's got all this money in his lap. He's got a phone book full of celebrities while he's walking around a college campus. It is not easy to handle that type of success well. People do it, but it's not easy. And I'm not making excuses for the guys. He's a knucklehead. He's a guy I don't want to hang out with. I'll tell you that right now. But what I am telling you, just like Greg Hardy, everybody thought he should have been thrown out of football. No. The very thing we want from people who make mistakes, no matter how grave, is to learn from them. And once they learn from them and they make that internal change, we want them to run out there and be productive citizens and be leaders to young people. And the way you do that is you get a job, you apply your trade. And for these superior athletes, their trade is on the field. So why wouldn't we want him playing football? That's the very thing we want from these guys, is to go be productive citizens, get a good job and be productive, be a leader. And so that's what we want. So to say that Greg Hardy or Johnny Manziel, they shouldn't be football players, that's not true. We want them to play football. We want them to open businesses. We want them to be successful so they can be in a position of leadership after they get it, after they get the help they need, after they're directed back on course. They can't all be Peyton Mannings. We talked about Peyton Manning retiring this week. What a class act. They can't all be Peyton Mannings. They can't all be Tony Dungy's. Sometimes guys stumble. And we're real quick to cast stones, but we just need to step back. We need to help these guys so they can help the next one and pay it forward. Could you imagine a society in which we pay things forward to that degree, where we're always willing to help and help the next guy out? Not because government told us so, but because we choose to as Christians, as Americans. Where would we be right now? Can you imagine 10 years from now if, unlike Dale Hansen said, Johnny Manziel's the guy at the end of the bar telling everybody why he used to be important. Instead, he's out there mentoring kids who are on their way to success, not to make the same mistakes they made. Oh, it'd be a fantastic day. And that's what we need. So don't give up on this kid yet. He may need some tough love. I'll give you that. But don't give up on him. Folks, until Monday, I hope you have a great weekend. My name is Gavin Mitchell. In the words of the great Ray Wally Hubbard, on the days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, I have really good days. Have a great weekend. It's the Gavin Mitchell Show.
Thanks for listening to the Gavin Mitchell Show, the voice of the working man, produced in Fort Worth, Texas. If you like what you just heard, subscribe on iTunes and Spreaker.com. These and other links can be found on our website at thegavinmitchellshow.com. Be sure to tell your friends and colleagues about the Voice of the Working Man's daily podcast. Join us tomorrow for another edition of The Gavin Mitchell Show. All opinions expressed by the host or guests on this series are solely their opinions and do not reflect the views, policies, or positions of The Gavin Mitchell Show or its affiliates. This has been a Ron Phillips, Pinnacle Voice Studios production.